Hey everyone, it's Greg, and it's another edition of Unbreakable, the podcast. And we want to talk. Look, I'm all geared up today. Phillies, Phillies, Phillies. We're going to talk a lot Phillies today. It is Thursday, October the 5th. And how about those Phillies, huh? They sweep out the fish, they fry the fish, fillet the fish, and the Marlins are done. I actually thought the Marlins would put up a little bit of a fight. They didn't. The Phillies swept them out in two and really didn't have that much problem with them. Now the Phillies move on to play Atlanta. Hey, I saw a statistic yesterday. The Phillies' record in the postseason now is at Citizens Bank Park, is 25-11, which is the best home record at any stadium for any team in the history of baseball. Talk about home field advantage. It's the Philly crowd. It's got to be, right? So, Atlanta is going to have home field advantage. Play the first two games in Atlanta, next two in Philly, final game, if necessary, in Atlanta. 5-game series, best out of 5. Whoever wins 3 games first wins the series and moves on. Phillies are underdogs. But the Phillies are used to being underdogs. If I was a betting man, I would play the Phillies, and here's the reason why. Not just because I'm a Phillies fan. There are some valid reasons. First of all, the Phillies have experience. They've been through this grind last year. They wore down the Braves. The Braves spent this week simulating games in Atlanta. They invited some of their fans in. They hyped in crowd noise because they admit they did not handle our Philly crowd very well last year. They went to pieces. So they're trying to do better with the crowd. I don't think it's going to work because they can pipe in all the freaking noise they want. It's nothing like a real crowd, a real Philadelphia crowd. So here's the way I look at it. Philly's got to split the first 2 games in Atlanta, which are Saturday and Monday. Come home for game 3 and 4 next Wednesday and Thursday. Can wrap it up and move on. If there is a game 5, it's in Atlanta, and it would be next Saturday. Atlanta is missing 2 of their starting pitchers. Max Fried, who's really good, and Charlie Morton. Now, Charlie Morton is out of this series. Max Fried may come back. He's getting close to coming back, but he may not, which means the Braves are going to be down 2 starters. Now, granted, Spencer Strider, great pitcher. Phillies have not been able to handle him. They are 0-8 against Spencer Strider in the regular season. He dominates them. And having all this time off, will he be strong? Will he be too strong? I don't know. You got to figure he's going to get a ton of strikeouts. He always does. He led the league in strikeouts. But will the Phillies be able to touch him up? Will they be able to get to him? They got to make him work. They got to make him throw a lot of pitches so he's out of there because the Atlanta bullpen isn't that good. Looks like Zach Wheeler, which will start game 2 down in Atlanta, which makes sense. He always has pitched well in Atlanta because he's from that area. So if he pitches game 2, which is Monday, he would be eligible to come back on Saturday and pitch a game 5. Now, to me, I think that's great. I don't know who's going to start game 1 for the Phillies. Maybe Ranger Suarez. Most likely Ranger will pitch game 1. Phillies have to find a way to get, number 1, they have to find a way to get to Spencer Strider. Number 2, they have to keep the Braves in the ballpark. The Braves tied a major league record this year, hitting 307 home runs. They have to keep the Braves in the ballpark. That's how the Braves score most of their runs. So you can beat the Braves. I mean, they potentially have the most valuable player on their team in Ronald Acuna Jr. Of course, they have Matt Olson, who hit 53 home runs. Ridiculous. Um, the Braves are loaded. They're a juggernaut, but they're not unbeatable. Phillies proved it last year. Uh, Strider pitches game 1 on Saturday. I would say he would come back and pitch either game 3 in Philly or game 4 in Philly. Now, why that matters? Spencer Strider before the playoffs said how much he hates having fans in the stands again. He wishes it was back to 2020 when there were no fans in the stands and everything was quiet. What a guy, huh? Well, if he doesn't like noise, wait till he comes to Philadelphia next week. He's going to get himself a lot of noise. So I picked the Phillies in 4. I think they do split down in Atlanta and they come back. And I just, until a team beats them, I don't see them losing at home. Their home field advantage is just too great. And uh, knowing that the Braves were affected by it last year, just adds more fuel to the fire. Uh, so let's see what happens. It should be a hell of a series, though, I'll tell you. Phillies Braves. But I mean, they already have a rivalry. Now they have second year in a row in the playoffs, played each other in the playoffs. Yes, the Braves have revenge after losing last year in the playoffs, but um, how are they going to react after this long layoff? I mean, Phillies have 3 days off and have the momentum. They played so well against Miami. I don't know. Are the Braves going to come out a little rusty in game 1? We shall see. But I picked the Phillies in 4, so that's my guesstimate. Something else I want to talk about. Hey, here in Philly or outside of Philly, the weather is still beautiful. It is 80 in the 80s today. It's a little muggy. That's all going to change this weekend. Starting Sunday, the weather is going to be high in the low 60s, low for the first time this season in the 40s. Oof. Actually, the way it should be this time of the year, it will feel more like pumpkin weather. And I already got my mums outside, mum's door. And has anybody ever gone on one of these corn mazes that you go in the maze and you try to get out of it? Have you ever done that? Sounds like a lot of fun. The only thing I think is, what if you get lost in there? Is somebody going to come in and save you? Do they have St. Bernards, like in the Alps, will come in and rescue you? Next to a stalk, do they have a button that you push? Now somebody will fly in and get you out of here? I don't know. Hey, did you hear this about the corn maze for senior citizens? It's one stalk and it goes around in a circle. Now I can say that. I can joke about that because I'm a senior citizen too. So, I can just see myself pushing my wheelchair in circles around this one stalk. Hey, guess what? The other day I talked about DogTV. There is such a thing, DogTV. And when I heard about this, I thought it was a channel that was dedicated to dogs that had like reruns of Lassie, old programs, like old movies like Benji, how to stuff on there, how to train your dog, things like that. But I was wrong. They have some of that, but what it mostly is, it is a channel for freaking dogs. Trust me. Well, guess what? We got it. We got it. Holly wanted to get it. It's a 3-day free trial, and I think we're going to keep it. our dogs are, I would say they're not fascinated yet because they haven't caught on yet to look up on the screen. I think once they realize that there's a dog up on the screen, they will look and they'll be mesmerized. Actually, I'm mesmerized. I look at, there's when I read about this, I read that Billy Bob Thornton, the actor, watches dog TV. He's a fan of dog TV. He watches it with his daughter and his dogs. And I can see why. They have these little videos, as long as 4 hours at a time, as short as like 10 minutes or half an hour. Put the video on, and it's a dog walking across the screen, a dog floating in space. They have this soothing music that goes through it, a lot of electronic music. Mm, mm. So, and once in a while, they break the monotony with a squeaky, the sound of a squeaky toy. Um, it's really wild. But apparently, this is all been checked out by veterinarians and dog experts, and they claim this is the kind of stuff dogs want to see, and dogs want to hear this music and the squeaky stuff. So it's all been, verified and whatever. So we'll see. I may put it on late at night in case I have trouble sleeping. Uh, hey, if it's good for a German Shepherd, it's good for me. That's the way I look at it. Um, so this is no endorsement for Dog TV. I'm just saying, since I found it, decided to give it a free try, and we have doggers, and let's see how they react, right? I'll keep you posted. It's, it's a it's a really remarkable world we live in, isn't it? Though, where you have a special channel, an app that you download for your dogs. Next thing you know, they'll be having turtle TV. Have your tortoise watch your TV or a groundhog TV. You could just go through the list. Anyway, so go Phillies. They don't play until Saturday. I think they're playing at 4 or 5 o'clock on Saturday. I'll check the time. Um, Meantime, I know they're flying down there right now. They're on the plane going down to Atlanta. So let's hope they kick some butt down there. What a time to be a Philadelphia sports fan. You've got the undefeated Eagles, one of two undefeated teams in pro football. They're playing at the Los Angeles Rams this weekend on Sunday. And you've got the Phillies, Red October, back in the playoffs, playing the Braves. I mean, come on. Who could ask for more, right? I love it. I love it. I love being alive. All right, you guys, take care. Thank you for watching. If you like what you hear, what you see, please subscribe or hit like and tell your friends and, make it an everyday occurrence that you take 10 minutes, 15 minutes out of your life and just sit down and you and me will chat back and forth. What the hell? What else do you have to do? Anyway, you guys take care and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye bye. Go Phillies.